Manchester United and the Theatre of Dreams, easily one of the biggest clubs in the world. So, how did they end up here?
But it was a 3-1 hiding. It was an embarrassment.
If the players don't actually believe that you know what you're doing, then you've lost straight away.
If I could describe this season in one word, it would be divisive.
Transition.
It's a shambles. Shambles is the word I would suggest.
It feels like that what's happened this year has split the fans, and a lot of people want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the club, don't want him to be manager, don't think he ever should have been given it in the first place. However, I'm very much of the opinion that there's not much better he could have done with this current squad.
We've seen what most people expected, a few good results, more than a few bad results, a squad that isn't strong enough. You know, ultimately it's not good enough for Man United, but that's where we are.
So, from the great Sir Alex Ferguson leaving to a conveyor belt of managers to spending over £900 million on players, where exactly did the troubles begin?
There's a lot of bad buys, a lot of mistakes. Why has it taken 6.5 years for people at United to wake up and smell the coffee as they say that this squad isn't good enough? So, same people in charge, same people making decisions, so I don't think it'll change while that remains the case.
I think Mourinho and Van Gaal were the right guys at the wrong time. I think we've got them both past their peak, but Moyes never had it and Ole never had it.
The trouble started in 2005 when Man United were bought by the Glazer family and they started taking dividends of the cash we earned, bought the club on debt, put the club into debt, and then we've seen a lack of investment from there on in every single transfer window.
So, is this rock bottom?
Personally, it's the lowest point that I've seen Manchester United at. That probably tells you more about my age than anything else. You know, there are lots of Man United fans who have seen Manchester United relegated who will say that this isn't that bad. Clearly, it's not good enough for the standards that Manchester United have set over the last 20 years.
I think there's a massive difference in quality between the best players in our team and the rest of the team. I think having players like Paul Pogba out for the entirety of the season, he is one of our best players. We've not had him all season, and how good was he when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the job on a temporary basis? And the football we played for those few weeks cannot be understated as well. It's the best football we've played since Sir Alex Ferguson retired.
So let's play the blame game. The Glazers, Woodward, Solskjaer? Who's your pick?
At what other point does a man managing Molde in Norway get the Man United job?
Yeah.
He's not the biggest problem, but he has a problem.
I think you can trace most of the problems back to Sir Alex Ferguson retiring. You just have to look at the league finishes, the results since that day. Sir Alex Ferguson left as a Premier League champion, and ever since then they've never really got close. And once he left, a little bit of it died. You know, he was such a huge part of Manchester United that it was impossible to replace him. And what we're seeing now is the club trying to reorganise and become a bit more modern in the way that it's structured.
But let's not forget about the man from Argentina. Could Mauricio Pochettino change things?
I think United should go out and try and get something on paper or an agreement with Pochettino.
I do see the point of going to get him because he's obviously had more experience at the top level than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has, but he's still not won anything necessarily in his career. So it's not like he's a Premier League winner, Champions League winner who instantly deserves the United job because of that. But what I do like about Poch is that I do feel like he would continue the project that Ole's built, where we're buying young players who want to play for Manchester United.
The problems at Man United are not all down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There are issues there with the structure, and Mauricio Pochettino would have to come in, if he came in, and work with that same structure.
If I'm Mauricio Pochettino, I wouldn't put United at the top of my list. I'd think that it's a big club, someone will get it right eventually, but whether the conditions right now are in place to get it right now, I don't know. I think he might be wise to put his ambitions to a different club somewhere else.
So from spending big on some pretty big names like Zlatan and Alexis Sanchez, or taking the gamble on some young prospects, which one's the right way to go?
It's inexcusable mismanagement of millions and millions of pounds of funds on dross.
Over 120 million spent on the defence and less clean sheets than Burnley. So something's going wrong somewhere, you know.
When you give a man who has no idea about football in Ed Woodward, he's not a football man, he's a businessman. When you make him in charge of signing players, yeah, it's not going to go well, is it? And that's exactly what's happened.
Ed Woodward is a very, very talented businessman who has helped United grow off the field. I think most people will accept that. The issue is, for people on the outside looking in, that there aren't enough football people at Manchester United.
So what does the future look like for United? One thing though is for sure, the rebuild is on.
The Manchester United that we all knew and all thought we knew and thought we would continue to see has completely disappeared.
Manchester United is one of the biggest football clubs in the world, and that isn't going to change anytime soon. The money that is invested in that club from sponsors, by fans, the number of fans that they've got worldwide, the size of the stadium, the number of fans that want to come and watch these games week in, week out, means that United will not cease to be one of the biggest clubs in the world overnight. They will win again. It's a fact. They will win the Premier League title again. They will win the Champions League again. I'm not sure when that will be. I'm not sure it will be next year or even the year after, but they will win again because they're too big a club to fail.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.